Dungeons and Dragons and Daughters.
Welcome everyone to another unique episode of Dungeons and Dragons and Daughters. We are a 5th edition actual play podcast. I am Kurt, Daddy the Dungeon Master. To my left we have
Sam, who played Mimi, our favorite elf druid, and the leader of the Three Musketeers. And to my left we have
Birdie, who played Galaxy with the adorable corgi named Boomed. And to my left we have
Fat Deb,
played by
your mom.
who was played by
Yeah, the leader. I'm the leader. I
No.
was the leader. Yeah. It's established.
So we're not playing D&D today.
Nope.
We're going to talk about how we wrapped up our first campaign in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition that we started back in 2017. 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You guys were how old?
8.
like down to here. I bet. Like,
We had to have booster seats.
Yeah, that's right. You had booster suits because you were too small for the chairs.
So itty bitty.
So how do you feel about wrapping up? How do you feel about how things turned out?
My soul is broken. It's beyond repair. No. It's sad. Yeah.
You excited for a new campaign?
Yeah.
definitely. Like I feel like the characters we made definitely shows that we made them when we were younger.
Yeah.
I just have to say that you picked the most complicated character classes. Like the druid and the wizard are the most complex, like mechanically, and just like the number of options and variability that happen with them. And it's like, of course, those are the character classes you picked.
Of course.
And I was just learning 5th edition D&D at the time.
We like to make things difficult for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like listening back to those old episodes. There's lots of mechanics and things that I definitely would be doing differently now because we know the rules we know most of the rules anyway.
I know all of them.
I know you do.
Yeah. Yeah, like you shouldn't even be here. You should be somewhere way higher up.
I
than
know.
us.
I kind of I'm working on a book right now about D&D.
A D&D
Really?
book?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Fat Deb's Guide to D&D?
Fat Deb's Player's Handbook.
Yeah.
How to be the worst player.
Hey, now. I think I saved us a few times.
Minnesota accent.
A few times.
Few
A few times.
Oh, yeah. You betcha.
Some
I know how that
hotties.
Uh-huh, exactly.
That-
Cha.
So
Betcha.
Jill, how do you feel about how things wrapped up?
I think it was a good conclusion. It wasn't the sob fest that I was expecting.
Oh, yeah,
So.
you're on a different planet. Wait, that was the other alternative.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You could have been. Wait, did you ever get with Guy then? Was that ever determined? I forget.
No, do you remember how this ended?
No.
Gosh. No, Mishakal. Wait, shoot. Was that not supposed to say Mishakal?
Well, that was one of the questions that we got from social media is like folks were like, what was in the letter?
Well,
Let's just say it was a note.
So in the letter, I'll post a picture of this onto social media in response to the question as well. But in the letter that was slid underneath the door that Mimi had read and shared with the rest of the group in the last adventure, the note simply read, "I am a god after all. You're welcome. Signed M."
So we kind of figured it was Mishakal.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah. So.
Mom.
Okay,
Mom.
but whoa. Okay, but it was
It was me. I did that.
Okay, so Brady, we ended with Mishakal using her godliness and bringing us magic back. Without,
I remember. I know
Okay,
this. Yeah.
so
No, she's saying this for me.
so in theory, yes, Fat Deb and Guy got together and had
All those children.
yes. I don't
No, all those sandwiches. They ate all those sandwiches.
And sandwiches.
Yes, lots of
Children.
sand.
no,
sandwiches.
no, children. They would think the children would eat too much.
Yeah, the funny thing about Guy is that is an NPC from my old adult
Really?
tabletop RPG game. It's like he was just an NPC that whatever campaign that we were doing, whatever group of characters, we always figured out a way to work Guy into it. He always showed up every campaign.
Oh, so like when you had Matt and like your other friends, like they were
Yeah.
on that campaign
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, so like Guy has just been like my go-to NPC for well over 20 years at this point.
And I took over him now. He's mine.
now we will never see him again.
So I actually had a lot more plans for Guy because you probably don't remember this going back. He sort of just like kept showing up in adventure after adventure, like in the background. There was always some weird thing that he was up to or running away from, and then I sort of just forgot about him.
Whoa.
So, but there was supposed
You
to be.
gave up on Guy?
I just completely forgot. There were so many other things that were happening.
That is so mean.
And it's a good lesson when it comes to dungeon mastering in D&D. There's always all these grand plans that you have that just fall to the wayside as your players do other things or come up with better ideas and we start going in different directions.
We do that a lot.
There's lots of stuff that just falls away. But my original plan was like Guy was going to be making very regular appearances throughout this entire campaign. And he was just going to have
He was Christopherson.
it was just going to be like Guy's wild adventures in the background of the main campaign.
That would have been amazing.
Maybe we can go back and revisit at some point.
Just have a little story of, you being the dungeon master telling the stuff, but then you do your Guy voice and just what he's doing on his other adventures. Just you talking to yourself.
No, Guy in big sparkly gold letters.
So that was okay. Yeah. So that's what was in the letter. Other question that we got is, what other characters would you have enjoyed seeing one last time before the end?
Jed, I think. That would Ian.
Yeah. Ian.
Doc.
Well, we did kind of see him.
Not really.
All those children we saved.
Aren't?
From Atlantis.
Yeah.
That Fat Deb was kind of like a Pied Piper.
ones.
Yeah. Also,
Oh, that's right. The real creepy kid.
I hated that kid.
So
Hey, can I
much.
have a sandwich?
Okay, yeah, so there was a whole thing on the island of Atlantis. Like, there was supposed to be like a coven of hags that had taken over a part of the city, and they were using the children to lure other people to them to kill them and take their things. And you just like, all of you were just like, nope.
We don't like the kids.
we don't like children.
Boo.
Oh, another character I would have liked to see again was that one dwarf I didn't kill to apologize. So
I was going to say, I wish I could have seen the Seven Dwarves again.
But you can't because
I
they're
humbly,
dead.
I apologize for the murder of your friends. It was intended, but not to hurt you. It
Yeah, who would
was.
have known that wall of fire would be lethal?
Wait, yeah, and didn't you torture him too? Like you cut off his fingers and stuff?
It was a bad day.
Did we get that? I think
I
don't
think
Did
I
you
think
cut
you
that
stopped-
part out?
I might have because
Yeah.
It was a dark
It's too
episode.
violent for 8-year-olds. Like
well, that was
I'm
towards.
kidding.
Well,
that was somewhat.
I think you were like 11 or 12 at the time that we did that.
No,
It's
she
time has
meant
been
for the
weird
viewers,
because it's
listeners.
like a year ago or something.
Yeah, that's what
You
I
weren't
think.
8 a year ago.
Yeah.
He didn't say I was 8 a year ago.
She was meeting for like younger
The
kids.
viewers.
Well, this last part of the
For viewers
campaign
like you.
took a really long time for us to get through. Just the
Busy.
I know we had things going on.
Yeah.
So it's like this last arc of the campaign, the final arc, I think took us almost 2 years to complete.
Is that the whole time I was involved?
Yeah.
We don't talk about that. We
Busy
have
too,
we do a lot of activities and we're tired a lot. Those aren't really good excuses, but
We have a life.
outside of D&D, I know it's really weird.
Yeah. Well, we've all been busy. You know, work's been crazy for me. It's like we've had some house remodeling projects going on. So sometimes it's just hard to find the time to get together and do this sort of thing.
But we will try to be more regular. That's not a promise, it's a wish.
Were there any enemies that we encountered that you wish that we would have seen before the end?
Well, we did see Azaki, but
I was so excited to bring Felicia back, honestly.
Bernie was so mad when we weren't catching on to the...
bye, Felicia.
Bye.
Oh, well, she had every right to be so angry with
100%.
us.
So easy.
Right?
Yeah.
Bye,
It's like
Felicia.
the easiest. That's how we like
that was when the first time we heard that name. We were like, happily. So like all that crap. And then you guys didn't catch on to that.
Talking your microphone.
Okay, well, Azaki, he was a really creepy dude. So, I mean, he got what was coming for him.
He wasn't meant to be creepy.
Azaki, I feel like he could have been someone who licked toes.
What?
Or something. He seemed like he'd be like, or like at least gave
What the
massages to him and was like, hey.
Yeah,
like,
he did bring up the foot massages a lot.
like the energy, just like the. But
A
licking.
toe licker?
Yeah, he's a toe licker.
No, what if that was an insult? You toe licker.
It is.
I wouldn't want to be a toe licker. That sounds
No.
sounds gross.
Honestly, it's a toe licker.
So yeah, Zaki was not meant to be gross. He wasn't meant to be creepy like that, but it
That's
did.
what they all say.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't mean to be creepy. I didn't mean to stalk you.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to kill your brother.
So I'm curious. So if Azaki hadn't have come off as creepy, if he was just some guy, would you have still left him behind in Kyle Land?
I would have been less likely to. Yeah. That's a lesson. If you're creepy and you gross people out, you're going to be left behind. Thank you.
So I kind of wanted to just do like a quick recap, just as kind of a reminder for all the things that we've done in the last 6 years, to see if maybe there's any other NPCs or enemies there. And all of this is going to be brand new information to your mom.
Everything we do is new information.
Even like, I don't know what we did just last
Yeah, even the last adventure is new information to her.
It's part of my charm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
actually-
Dory. Just call me Dory.
Yeah, well, actually, before we get into that, so then, is there, other than NPCs, was there any favorite location or battle that we did in the campaign?
the treasure room with the beholder. And then when Fat Deb killed it.
I killed it.
Like I loved the escape and all that. Like it felt very like hands-on.
Well, I mean, I love fighting in D&D, sure, but my favorite part is when you get to like interact with like go shopping and
The shopping
getting
piece?
animals. Yeah, I kind of like that part just a little bit.
Like when we went shopping for dead corgi parts?
So specific.
I know, I loved Atlantis. I thought like the way you described it was very just like, oh, whoa, cool. Oh, I love it.
Oh my god. That's
And, like,
amazing.
and then the catapults.
The musculators?
The musculators, yeah. Just oh.
So that was direct inspiration from the Dragonlance campaign. That was the first D&D campaign I had ever played, and a type of gnome existed in that campaign called Tinker Gnomes, and that was their preferred mode of transportation at Mount Nevermind, where the Tinker Gnomes lived.
Mount Nevermind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It got the name Mount Nevermind because Tinker Gnomes had a tendency to talk very, very fast. And also they had the tendency to describe like every single detail of a particular person, object, or mountain for its name. So someone came along and asked, hey, what's the name of that mountain? And then they proceeded to just describe the mountain. And then the person responded with, oh, never mind. And they liked that so much, they just changed the name to Mount Nevermind.
You understand why that all sounds like another story, right?
Because it is.
Tinker what?
Bell.
Tinker Bell and Neverland?
Ha ha.
Oh,
Ha ha.
You didn't think of that, huh?
no.
I just thought it was a little like
Well,
spin
they're
on
called
that.
they're called Tinker Gnomes because they tinker around with a lot of mechanical
I know,
objects and things
but-
like that. I don't think there was any
And
intention of having.
land,
Okay.
right?
Whoa.
Right? Come on, no minds being blown right now.
Mine just got blown. Did you not hear me go, whoa?
Thanks.
So anyway, in Mount Nevermind, that's how they would get around inside the mountain, is that they would get flung up from one level to another using these giant catapults. And so I pulled directly from that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but those
Peter
were always
Pan
fun adventures when you were in Mount Olympus, and someone always had to go on the musculator.
And wet their pants. And you always had to do that.
You always, yeah. Well, I wasn't planning on people wetting their pants. It just one of you brought up or just asked if they wet their pants.
Probably. Brittany's probably did she wet her pants? It's gonna be my pants.
So the shopping. You particularly.
Wait. Greg was everywhere.
Yeah, Greg.
He worked everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
He was like what's his name in Gilmore Girls?
Kirk. Yeah. Always
Or
there.
The Simpsons, hello, my whatever the voice cracky dude.
Well, isn't that who you inspired it from?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to copy Greg from the teenager in The Simpsons. Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't do it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This is gonna come out of my paycheck.
I interrupted you earlier. I'm sorry.
I forget what I was saying. That's okay.
Okay.
Oh, what for your shopping? Yes. So I re-listened to an old episode of ours when you were in Miam, and this is when Dave, at the time, had been killed by the vampire because there was a separate vampire and a separate fight that you all had gotten in, and you all were trying to. You had brought him back to life. You had gotten your agate. And that's also when you had created Mr. Bok Bok.
I didn't create him. I just, taught him English.
Sure.
With an agate.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so then while Dave was recovering, because he was still very weak after the ritual of bringing him back,
Mr. Bok.
you had Mr. Bok Bok and you went out shopping for outfits.
I got a cowboy outfit. Yeah, I remember that.
And you were looking for pets. And there was the whole thing with the baby elephant. It's like, oh my God.
I had 2 elephants. One was named Ellie, because that's, every elephant's name.
Right.
And Philip.
Well, Philip, that's right. And this is before you found out about the fancy name Philip from Critical Role.
Yeah. No, I now know why Philip is amazing.
Pets.
So many pets. Mimi's Menagerie
Okay,
is
but I feel like I had 2 other pets too that I never brought up again.
no.
No,
we had the
Bacon and that little
horses.
Yorkie Terrier or whatever.
Yeah, because you had a friend that had a little Yorkie Terrier that you thought was adorable, and so you decided to have one in the game.
Yeah, and then it just went bye-bye.
Yeah.
You killed it?
Yeah, we'll assume it got killed.
No pets die.
Oh, and Stubby.
And
I loved Stubby.
Wait, did Stubby come with you for a little bit?
Yes, Stubby.
Where'd he go?
anyway, I don't know. It's hard to keep track of all of them.
Stubby's in my backpack.
Yes, Stubby was in your backpack.
Where's Mr. Bok then? Mr. Bok's in my arms because he's pissed. Yeah.
Unless we're going into battle, then Mr. Bok Bok would climb into your backpack
Yes.
for
And
protection.
then Stubby would just be in the corner.
Stubby would just be around, I guess.
I should have made Stubby be able to fight. What if Stubby could have jumped out of my bag and go, "Arr!"
If you could find another agate, you could awaken Stubby.
Why do I
So,
campaign have to end?
Before I forget,
Wanna...
so Philip, the baby elephant,
Yes.
do you remember the whole bit about breaking into the pet shop in the middle of night after it was born and then trying to steal it away from its mom?
I love it. I just kind of took the mom with them. Hey, wasn't the city under attack too?
Yes, it was. It was.
I
yeah.
was saving the elephants.
It was under siege by all the demons that Christopherson had
It
sent
wasn't
against
robbery. I was saving them.
You did leave a bunch of gold behind for the shopkeeper.
I did.
Yeah.
See, I'm a good person who just cuts off gnome fingers, dwarf fingers.
Okay. So maybe we don't want to go through a whole timeline of everything we've done because we did a lot. But I'm trying to. The only reason I was going to bring it up is just to kind of remind you of the things that we had done and to see if you
We're amazing.
had any questions.
I didn't even say that we are.
You are amazing.
Thank you.
You're my daughters. Of course, you're amazing.
Ugh. Disgusting.
So do you have any questions? Was there anything that we had done or left unresolved that you have questions on?
You know our memories, they sucked.
Again, kind of one of the reasons why I was thinking that maybe we should just talk through real quick an outline of the stuff that we had done just to jog your memories a bit.
Was there any little things that you had planned for, and then we just took the opposite direction?
You were so excited for.
So the overall beginning, middle, and end of the campaign had the way that it turned out. This was my plan. This is the way that it was always going to be. It was always planned for you three to be responsible for unleashing magic on the world, and then you having to do some time travel hijinks to fix
Back
that.
to the future.
Right. And that basic concept was based off of a campaign that I ran for my friends, 20 years ago. That was the ending, and that was the twist that I threw at them, is that they were ultimately responsible for releasing magic and having to fix it.
So you're just like, you gave us a used adventure.
Yes, you got
Hold up.
slightly used adventure.
You didn't even bother to write us a new one. Whoa, you are lazy. Whoa.
That is okay. Pro DM tip: always be lazy. Always reuse work and notes and stuff that you have used. Reuse stuff that other people have done. It's so much work. It's like, do whatever you can to cut corners and make it work.
Thought this was an original storyline.
This was an original
You
story.
loved us.
I created this storyline.
Why don't you love us?
Okay, so as far as other than the time travel stuff and you releasing magic, everything else was completely original.
Yeah.
It was. Because there's just looking through some of my old notes, I had all these plans for the world and all these things for you to go around and do for the campaign that I just threw out the window, because we just never got to it. It was either too much, or you girls were taking it in a direction I thought was better, so I just rolled with it.
Well, what's an example?
Well, for example, the original formula that I was thinking about going with at the very beginning was going to be kind of like a monster of the week type of thing, where it was going to be you just traveling around the world fighting a new big bad for the Musketeers. So once I got you to the Musketeers, then you were supposed to just go around the world, and just based off of the way that you were interacting with some of the NPCs and some of the areas of the world that you were really interested in, I felt that was more interesting to focus on that piece rather than sending you off on one adventure after another to different random places around the world. It felt more interesting to me, and it felt like it was more fun for you to keep you still within the realm of what we established.
It made
sending
it
you off.
personal.
Right.
Well, so it's like you were kind of, yet again, basing some stuff off on like The Simpsons, for example. Like, it kind of resets every single time. Like,
Sure.
Like, they don't really mention it, but sometimes they do and all that. Okay.
Yeah. So there was some of that, because there was, definitely arcs that I just sent you off out into the middle of nowhere where you were cut off from all your friends and the familiar location. So that stuff was still there. But originally it was supposed to be you thrown to the far corners of the world every single arc to deal with a big bad. And then eventually it would circle back around to Christopherson. But it's like, we got there eventually, but it wasn't as linear as a straightforward line as I would have originally planned.
It was more like a piece of art instead.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
So real quick, where we started out was in Westman, right? Where you first met Jed.
We faced those kobolds.
You faced those kobolds,
Almost
yes.
died.
Yep.
Because you have like 7 hit points. And you're like, I can face the world.
Yep. And then from there, you went into the temple ancient ruins underneath of Westman, where the Atlanteans got alerted to the technology underneath there, and they came in after you, and that's what released Christopherson. Then Jed had sacrificed himself to the vampires to save you, and you got teleported to the west, to the area for Mount Olympus. It was there you got introduced to the Musketeers. You learned how to use firearms, which you never used again. That's another thing that was
I could figure it out. Like, it was Galaxy and Fat Deb, or Dave, or whatever, and whoever, they figured it out, but I could not get it to work.
Yeah, you did not care for them.
So my character didn't like
Well, plus at the time, it was, I thought like the muskets would be more beneficial than what they were, because I was still, again, learning the mechanics of 5th edition D&D at that time. I just thought like a musket would be like much more powerful than it was mechanically, and so there really wasn't any benefit for you to use these muskets because you have magic, because you're a freaking wizard and a druid that can
And a
turn into
cleric.
animals, and a cleric
You're a wizard,
who
Harry.
literally has the power of the gods on her side.
We all do.
So that so you becoming the Three Musketeers was supposed to be like a much bigger deal with that, and that just never materialized.
Oh well. I think I should make a character that's really bougie and fancy who always goes, oh my god, look at this little mess that I've made.
Always fainting.
Always fainting.
Oh my god, I got a stain on my skirt. Oh. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
Just been hearing that for 24/7. Oh.
Well, I was hoping for our next episode that we would be able to sit down and plan out our characters for the next campaign. So, yeah, keep that in mind. If you want to do that for a character, just keep in mind you'd
That
have
we
to keep that character voice up.
I'll be super annoyed by you.
Should we all try accents for our characters?
What? How would you ever be annoyed with this voice? Oh.
Oh my gosh, the whole time. Like, that would suck.
I choose you. Oh. This is so funny now.
Okay, so next time.
No, it's not.
No, never again. Let's not do that.
Okay, so you're in the desert, Mount Olympus. You got introduced to a whole bunch of NPCs there. That's where you met Betha and Blondie and Ian, and you got introduced to Chips and Salsa.
I think like Betha was kind of your enemy, just a little bit, because she didn't appreciate
No,
the
she's
chips
my
and salsa.
bestie. Because she gave me the chips and salsa.
No, but she didn't like him at first.
She did?
No, she.
No, I thought she had a grudge against Galaxy.
No, it's because Galaxy ate all her chips and salsa.
Oh yeah.
That's why they had some friction that was there. But eventually, she was
I
forgiven
never
for
had
that.
any friction with her. Did I?
There was a short period of time where she was not talking to you because you ate all of her salsa.
Yeah, because she wouldn't give me any more then.
Right, because you ate it all.
Yeah, but she could have made more for crying out loud.
Oh my god, you could have made more. You're a freaking wizard.
So it was also during this time that Mimi got bit by the werewolf, and she got cursed. And then to get the curse cured, you had to go to Dave's hometown at the time. And then you fought the werewolves. That's also where you met, because you had turned into a werewolf in the middle of the ritual.
Yeah.
Ran off in the middle of the night. And that's where you ran into a character named An, who was a much older druid like yourself, but had been more seasoned and been around for a while. That was another character that I had more plans for. We just never got around to. He eventually made an appearance again, but as a ghost in
Right.
Atlantis.
He died.
Yeah.
Sucker.
And I'm the evil one?
Apparently. You'd also met Gerald, who was an old mentor and friend of Dave's back then. You don't remember him? Yeah, that's fine.
Just not along.
Yeah, he wasn't around for very long until he sacrificed himself too to help out as well.
How many lives have ended because of us?
Well,
We also saved
You
a
saved-
ton of
No, you
them.
killed 7.
you saved billions.
Yeah, so just killing like a few hundred's fine.
So
No.
we don't want to get into a moral discussion about did the ends justify the means or something like that.
Fight.
Okay, from there, you went back to Westman. You went into the tunnels again. Do you remember that robot train that you found that you took up to Zeloshint?
Zulu shit.
Okay.
I think so.
Do you remember the Kuatoa underground village that you went into?
With the Mountain Dew?
No, that was a little bit later on, but
Okay.
but yes, that was the dwarven settlement when you were in. That was in our Out in the Snow arc.
That's where Jed was.
That's where you met
that-
young Jed.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I still
that
don't
was
understand
like the
that.
first introduction of like time travel and stuff like that. So I was foreshadowing some stuff to come up.
Wait a second. So we met Jed, and then didn't he die? And then we met young Jed, and is that the Jed we know?
No, he did. So you had met.
What are you
Jed.
doing to our brains?
You had met older Jed,
You know I only have 2
And-
brain cells.
and he had talked about how
We share one.
your destiny and how you were meant to save the world, et cetera, et cetera. And so
Well,
the reason why
no
he knew
pressure.
about this stuff is because you had met him when he was much younger for the first time. So there was a little bit of foreshadowing and time travel stuff that was hinted at almost from the very beginning.
Were you kind of laughing like, oh, they don't know anything?
Well, there's like little things like this here and there throughout the campaign that I dropped, and some of them paid off, and some of them I never got back to. Honestly, there's some stuff I just completely forgot I put in there. These, sometimes it's not the cleanest of storytelling, but it's fine.
I don't
It's
think
fine.
I understood anything you were saying for the past minute, but don't repeat it, please.
Okay, so you got to the swamp, and that's where you met the Atlantean soldiers. And that is where you got to Zelushint, and you got inside the castle with Jed. Jed got copied by a doppelganger for a period of time, and he ended up attacking you, and that's when you found out that it wasn't actually Jed. You defeated the big black dragon.
With no help at all.
Yeah, look, these muscles over here.
And then it was after that is when we did the arc of going into the cold and into the mountain with the dwarves with the Mountain Dew.
I called it Mountain Dew.
And that is actually where you met Jink too, because he was one of the guards that was in one of the towers up on top of the mountains.
Is that when you discovered Bigby's hut?
Maybe, but who's she?
Jink, he was one of the NPCs that I brought back at the end that you had to fight.
And we were like,
And you didn't remember him then.
Who the heck are you?
Wait, wasn't he that like really kind one or something? He was like, I don't really want to do this, but like I'm gonna kill you anyways.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
guy? Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of a coward.
A really
I still
bad
can't even remember
sorcerer.
him.
Yes. Then from there, that is where. Oh, I was after that. That's when you created Boom, because you found that book that taught you how to make a golem. And so you decided to make a dog golem.
Wait, I should have done like the whole Frankenstein thing.
You did.
I did?
Yeah, you dressed up in like a white lab coat.
But I did. Did
And
I?
you
do
had
the
all the electricity going?
rise? Did I do that?
Pretty close. Yeah.
Lightning, the laughs.
Yeah, you did that.
Okay. You satisfied? I should do that with that.
Then it was after that. That's when we did a couple of adventures of you working for the Three Musketeers, going out and killing bad guys. And there was the one adventure where you skydived into a village because it was surrounded by thousands of gnolls.
Yeah.
You don't remember that? No? Okay.
I don't remember.
I have a bad memory.
That's fine.
No, didn't you have us roll for wetting our pants again?
Probably. For some reason, I'm obsessed with you wetting your pants.
Bit creepy, Dad.
Yeah,
Bit
let's
creepy.
not say that.
Are you a toe licker as well?
No, I just changed a lot of your diapers. That's all.
Oh. You're not
I'm your dad.
You're not helping your case.
Oh my gosh.
Execute.
You
And then
can-
it was okay. So there was one of those adventures that you were in a fight with the vampire, and Dave ended up dying. That was not expected.
I just have to say, I never died.
That's true. Fat Deb
How
did
many
not die.
times did Dave die?
No, we did. She did die.
I did not.
Yes, she did because Michiko brought us back again, even
That's
though
true.
she said she was not going to bring us back.
That's true. You did die.
No.
Yeah, by the red dragon in the end.
Yep. Yeah.
Your mom doesn't remember that.
You know,
I mean, you wonder where Bertie gets all of this from.
That's what I was just going to say. How do you not remember the freaking red dragon?
6 years, Sam.
6 years. It wasn't 6 years
It's
ago.
when you were chasing after Christopherson through the office building,
We were in the future.
and you were going down the stairwell,
I was going to bring that up when I dove.
and you dove off the top of the stairs.
Because that was epic.
Wait, isn't
And
that
you-
when I was fighting Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you ran into Galaxy, mid-air and bounced off of her,
Yeah.
and you had like trying to do
You rolled
these
a
rope
natural
tricks.
20.
you were really impressed with that.
Yeah, and so it's a bit when you got down to the bottom. That's when I think it was Mimi had opened up the door to the building, and then there was the big ancient red dragon
We should
waiting
just
there for
slam the
you.
door and be like, no, not today.
Nope.
Not today. I can't. It's been a rough day.
So then you brought Dave back, and I think it was about this time that's when Dave became Fat Deb. Then Miam got overrun by demons, and the city was evacuated. And then that's when Doc had asked you to go on a side mission to go to Atlantis because the souls of Blondie and Betha had been captured by the forces of Christopherson.
Yeah.
And then that's when you got sidetracked.
Again, believe it or not.
When you got swallowed by the Kraken.
Whoa.
And you got, here's a good question for you. No one ever asked about this, but I'm surprised that you just rolled with, you got swallowed by a monster and then suddenly you appeared in Kyle Land. It seemed like no one...
There's dragons and monsters.
Right. Was it just like
D&D? Anything?
Just
can
magic
happen.
is a thing, and it's just like...
Was it a portal that like took us there?
Well, there was a history that was behind it. Like Kyle Land had gotten created by another wizard way back when that had gotten swallowed by the Kraken, and he escaped by creating a dimensional portal inside the Kraken. So then everything from there on out that got swallowed by the Kraken would end up going through this portal and ended up in this pocket dimension that he created, which eventually became Kyle Land.
So, okay, I have a question, and it's further on in the timeline, so you want me to wait or say it now?
Yeah, no, just say it now. Yeah.
When Christopherson was giving his speech, and we were like, sip it, no, we don't want to hear it, what was he going to say?
He was actually going to tell you the whole thing. He was going to say that at that point, he was going to reveal that you're the reason for his existence. And you're the reason, and because you are going to release magic upon the world. He was going to just like lay it all out right
It was
there.
better that we found it out.
But then you're just like, no.
We don't have time for this. Come on, dude.
Right.
Get to the point.
So, and I just rolled with that too, because it's like, you know what? This is better if like you just find out rather than Christopherson just monologuing all these details to you.
But every hero with a villain, they just listen to them for so long, and then they're like, oh, you're going to die anyway. So they just, listen. Oh, you're good to die. We're like, no, dude, come on, just kill us already.
No,
okay?
that's why I loved it so much, is because you interrupted his monologuing.
No.
And you're just like, no, this is great. This is much better. That's a perfect example of you doing something that made the adventure better.
Who knew our impatience would be our savior?
Right.
Are we sure we were saved by that then? In the DM's eyes.
All right. So you went through Kyle Land. That's where you met Felicia. You got
Felicia.
You got out of Kyle Land by figuring out the ring and the portal and all that, and then you got to Atlantis. And that's where you rescued all those children. That is where you rescued the soul cages that the Death Knight and the Lich had on them. You got out of Atlantis. There was also a whole thing with Atlantis where
Ian got pregnant, all that.
Ian got pregnant.
Ian was pregnant with twin girls. It's a very wonderful thing. We're all very happy for him.
How did that joke get started with Ian being pregnant?
Because I said, "Are you pregnant?" And he went, "No," and I went, "You sure?"
Yeah, but why would you ask if he's pregnant? Do you remember?
He was getting a little chubby. No, I think he had an upset stomach or something. I honestly.
Yeah, I don't recall either.
You guys don't remember that?
All I know is that Ian is pregnant.
Right.
So, yeah.
And Mimi's the leader.
Yes.
False.
Thank
False.
you. No, the DM has confirmed that Mimi was the leader. Yeah.
What in the world?
So you got out of Atlantis. You went back to Mia, and then you had leveled up at that time, and so you had access to some new magical abilities, and so you had your Windwalk spell that helped you get back to Mount Olympus. But along the way, that's when you find out that the group had been intercepted by...
Oh, were they killed?
They were killed, yeah.
Wait, Jed's dead?
No, well, not now.
No,
but
no.
at that time, like
Jed,
everyone that was
Ian,
with
the
you that
kids.
did not show up at Atlantis, which was essentially everyone, they were killed in transit.
Wait, aren't those kids evil?
No, they were good.
They were just brainwashed a little bit?
No, they were just orphans.
No, but you were saying because before about like how those little things
These
would
are
drag
different
them
kids.
down.
Oh no, there were two different groups of kids.
There was?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
different kids.
Yeah, so there was kids that were working for the hags that you never came you came across the kids, but you never encountered the hags because Fat Dev was just like, nope.
I'm gonna take my scooter and I'm gonna go.
Yep. And then there was another group of orphan kids that were just living on their own underneath the city.
Yeah.
So some of the kids that worked for the hags started out in that group of orphans, but then they got corrupted and taken over by the hags.
Oh.
Which is just a whole another part of the adventure you just never ever uncovered, which is fine. It's like you just took a different turn. It's the way these things go. So then you got back to Mount Olympus. You found out that's where you killed the 7 dwarfs.
Epic episode.
I remember, Mom, you went, you killed the 7 dwarves!
Oh my gosh.
There was another like brilliant joke that we should have caught on to that so much faster than we did. And it was like, of course, I didn't even think about it. It's like, there's 7 of them. They're dwarves.
Oh
It's like,
No, there's 8 of them. I killed 7 and then left 1 to question.
Cool. That's a nice word.
and it was like then, because like everything was like turning to crap at that time, because that's when like people were getting killed. It's like you weren't sure if the souls of Blondie and Betha got back in. The Mount Olympus had been taken over by this weird dwarf king, and they had all these new soldiers, and they were building new structures and fortifying it. And Doc had gotten turned into that undead fiendish thing by Christopherson.
Yeah.
And Greg, of course, was still working the shop there. But I think that was like the first time that you actually had any kind of like empathy for Greg, because Greg was not doing great at that time. And I think you all actually felt sorry for him.
Did he face the Karens?
Did he face the Karens? Yes, he did.
Whoa.
That's why he looked like he had aged 20 years. It was rough. Then you got sent back in time. Back in time, what you thought was the future, because it was all futuristic and science fiction-y. Then that's when Fat Deb released Magic Onto the World.
My bad.
And then you
Nice
made
going.
and then you made the deal with Mishakal to have you sent back to the future to deal with your future self or your past selves in the future and make sure that they never come back in time in the first place.
Just don't.
What did we say to them?
We kind of skipped over that part, and that is just I described it as you know yourselves, and that this should be a fairly easy conversation to have with your past selves, that they should not do these things, otherwise billions of people are going to die.
Yay!
Yeah, so we killed billions of people, then we were the ones who brought them back. So
Yes.
basically never happened. So, woohoo!
No harm, no foul.
No one will ever know.
So one detail that was in there, the reason why Mishakal was able to do that,
she's a freaking goddess.
yes, she is a goddess. But the first time that she saved all your lives with the Black Dragon, and she said that this is the last time that I'm going to be able to do this.
She's a filthy liar.
The reason why she was able to do it again is because she hadn't helped you yet with the dragon. At the time, because you were technically in the past, she had never helped you yet.
Wait, no. This is a complete lie. Because when the red dragon, we died, we were still in that
And
time.
she saved you, and she sent you forward in time, right? That was the first time, technically, she ever helped you.
Wait, so was it her past self
Yes.
who went into the future to help?
No, her past self helped us in the past.
Right.
So that was the first time, if you think about it like chronologically.
We were still in the future, though.
No, so then that changed all those other times she helped us, which made her able to help us for what would be the second time.
Right, and that's why that was the last time she'd be able to help you, is because she knew when she would help you again, it would actually be in the past, which would
So
be
it
the
would be the
first
first
time that she helped you.
No, this is a complete lie. Because when
no.
Sam was attacking me, that was still in the future, right?
That
It
was the
still
past.
That was the past.
No, it's still magic and all that.
No, that was in the past when we released magic.
Yeah. So then, so that's when Mishkal helped us already, though, in that same timeline.
As far as you're concerned, yes. So in your memory, Mishakal had helped you already.
We were in the same time,
No, but think about it. Past goes before future.
I could draw out a timeline for you if it would help you. But it's like, actually, I'm really glad this did not come up in the game, because if it's this confusing just as us talking about it, it's like, oh man, that would have really bogged things down in game.
so confused.
I'll draw out a timeline for you to explain it. But that's the reason why she was able to do it again, because technically it was the first time she was actually helping.
The math doesn't work. The math doesn't work.
Jill, are you following this?
Yeah.
You came back to the future. You fought Jink and Felicia and Azaki.
Azaki.
And and then you talked to your past selves, and you figured it out.
You solved lemon squeeze.
Yeah, you solved my time travel puzzle.
Away, we saw what would happen when we're not there. All
I was
that.
stuck on a planet. by
At least
Okay.
you were alive.
So there was one thing that did not get resolved. Do you remember in one of the adventures you got the deck of many things?
Yeah. I want to draw from it. What did I get? No, we didn't pick anything because there's some really bad cards, but there's also some really good cards.
So the campaign is done, but
What if?
if we ever want to come back to it, I would like to use the deck of many things as the catalyst for that.
Okay, well, let's draw it right now.
So we're going to draw cards from
the
the deck of many things, and that'll be the kickoff point if we ever decide to come back and try revisit these characters in campaign.
Undetermined, so whatever happens now can change.
All right. So the way I said that we weren't going to be playing any D&D in this adventure. Galaxy, you're in your room in Mount Olympus.
Yeah, of course.
And you've got your bag of holding.
Yeah.
And things are going great. The Musketeers, they're back together. They're going around the world. They're fighting the evil creatures of the world. And you're having a
reading a
great
good book.
you're reading,
While eating chips and salsa, obviously.
Absolutely. You're never out of chips and salsa.
Ever.
Because Beth is back and she's making it constantly.
Boom's laying by me, snoring away.
Yeah, so you're relaxing. And that's when it dawns on you. I still have that deck of many things in my bag of holding. So the way that this works is that you have to say how many cards you are going to draw from the deck of many things. And you are forced to keep drawing the number of cards. So you could say, I just want to draw one and see what happens. And then you could come back to it and do it again. But you could be like, I want to draw 5 cards. You have to draw 5 cards, and each one has to resolve. And if you don't pick 5 cards, all of the cards that are left in the deck go flying out of it and all activate at the same time.
Oh, whoa.
Crap.
So that's the way that the deck of many things is supposed to work.
Okay.
Okay, well, give me those.
Well, hold on.
They're mine.
How many do you want to pick?
Oh my god.
How many do you want to pick?
One.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not.
It was at this moment when Mimi walked into the room.
And wait, no, it's at this moment we'll realize that, that. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. This one looks pretty.
I think that's a good one.
I got sun.
Sun.
It looks pretty good because it's just a weakling that turns into like a god.
Are you a goddess now?
I am. I've always been a goddess. Thank you very much.
All right, what does the sun do? This might be a good one.
So pretty.
I'm so nervous but excited. Oh, ew.
Wow. You gain 50,000 experience points and a wondrous item, which the GM determines randomly, appears in your hands.
Pile of poop.
Oh shit.
So when we
Is she a goddess now?
when we would get together, 50,000 experience points. I need to look that up, but you would level up. So if we ever came back together, you would actually be a higher level than Mimi and Fat Deb. What kind of magical item would you want?
Ooh. I want to turn into a goddess.
So
Wait.
I guess write that down on your character sheet that you got a wondrous item that we need to resolve for next time.
Okay. I'll pick one.
Can I get a post-it note instead so I could actually know? 'Cause,
Later.
I will forget. Oh god, these are hideous.
Okay, this is when Mimi walked into the room and she picked one.
It's gonna be bad.
Shush, okay. Ooh.
Whoa.
It's called Rogue. I don't know what that means.
Rogue. Okay.
But it looks cool. Oh no. Wait, am I gonna be hunted? It looks like I'm being hunted. I'm scared now.
A non-player character of the GM's choice becomes hostile towards you. The identity of your new enemy isn't known until the NPC or someone else reveals it. Nothing less than a wish spell or divine intervention can end the NPC's hostility towards you.
Mr. Bok.
Wait, what? No!
Oh my god!
No!
That would be so mean.
Okay, Greg.
You're gonna force me to kill. Oh my god, no! I think you should do it now.
Sam's never gonna want to resume this.
Where? To Michigan?
And that's when Fat Deb walks into the room. Would you like to draw from the deck of many things?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Bok should.
I mean, I
should
wasn't
draw one
listening
too.
when you're describing this, but
Oh my! She's gonna get the freaking wish spell. What is it?
a comet. I'm a comet.
A comet?
Would be a goddess. I think that's a really good one.
I don't know what.
Hold on, let me see it. Ooh. See this one's so cool.
Comment: if you single-handedly defeat the next hostile monster or group of monsters you encounter, you gain experience points enough to gain 1 level. Otherwise, this card has no effect.
You should kill my enemy.
That is really boring.
so Mr. Kill my enemy.
Can we pick again?
Wait. I
wanna
pull
pick
up.
again.
I pull up Mr. Bok. Hi, Mr. Bok.
Hey, Mimi!
Oh.
I hate you!
What? What?
He jumps out of your arms. No, I'm kidding.
I think we should pick again, and we get to pick the better of the two.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to think on that, on which NPC it
Greg.
would be.
I'm gonna throw my merchandise at you.
You want to draw again?
Yes.
Oh.
That would still be.
You could kill
No. We get to pick our favorite.
No, this one will still count.
No, this is.
At least it's not a bad.
I get 2 then.
You get to draw again.
Yeah, I get 2.
You want to draw 2 now?
Why not?
Okay, well you have to draw 2.
No, she's just drawing us one.
Oh.
I don't know how to say it,
What?
but it's naked woman.
Uriel?
It's not a good one.
I don't want that one. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back.
Uriel?
That's not mine.
What is Uriel?
I'm not
mean?
that. That's
You're
not mine.
Uriel.
Nope.
Uriel?
So
That's not.
so you have Comet and Uriel.
I want to draw a third one.
Oh my god, that's not a good idea.
The card's Medusa-like visage curses you.
Nope. I'm not
You
taking
take
this.
a -2 penalty
No.
on saving throws. While cursed in this way, only a god or the magic of the Fates card can end this curse.
No.
You can go ask Mishika, be like, yo, I'm kind of cursed.
You're a god.
I didn't sign up for this.
These are now.
They're not mine.
There are no.
No, they're not. I refuse.
Okay, that's where we're gonna end it.
It's mad.
What will become of Fadab? We will
Maybe no.
stay tuned for the next episode of Dungeons and Dragons
And
Daughters. Dungeons and Dragons and Daughters.